committee, they haven't even been chartered yet. I haven't seen their charter. I'm sure he'll have it for the board meeting.
You're really talking club utilization.
That's correct. There's a number of different ramifications, both financial and usage issues there. That's something I'm going to let Bob address. He'll address that, I'm sure, on Monday. Right, Bob? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they've already had an exploratory meeting and had an audience of residents. It's moving along. I know Bob's intent is to have it move along very quickly so we can get to a conclusion for management. So we understand where we're going for this year. And if we have to make any adjustments, downward adjustments in revenue, based on if they make a decision not to allow any outside revenue, and then to advise the residents if there's going to be any assessment impact. Okay. Larry?
I just wanted to go back to the golf real quick. I'm going to try to be gentle. You are. The issue with the daily fee, or however you call it, as you know, I go back 3 years and trying to work to help bring about price changes and so forth that went on. Recently, when all this came about, there's the stigma that was there before between what's called the annual, prepaid and the pay-as-you-go is almost taking a reverse picture. And I'm somewhat offended by that because when this all came about with the new price change, I was involved knee-deep, went to Kevin, tried to help get the pay-as-you-go guys to come back in here, which is what I was. I was outside playing with a lot of the guys that I consider my friends and neighbors and played. Now, because of the price change and my health getting a little bit better, the price that I chose that suited my circumstances was to pay the annual. It afforded the most for me to play here. And I don't know if jokingly or what, but I'm being called a traitor. I know it's not, but some of my friends that I played with weekly outside hardly even talk to me. This Thursday group that's been formed, it has 200-some people now. Somebody came to me that I played with weekly and mentioned, first thing they asked me was, did you pay the annual fee? I said, yes. That was the end of the conversation. I was never even told about a group of guys getting together on Thursday to play. It's like I got the plague now because I paid the annual fee. I mean, you see where I'm going? It just took a total reverse now because I paid the annual fee because it suits my financial needs and it doesn't matter what days I play or whatever. The guys that I play with, I met people walking my dog. So now all of a sudden, I'm an outcast because I paid the annual fee. Okay.
It sounds like it's going to take care of itself because you're going to have a whole new set of friends. No, I'm not being light of it. The intention, quite frankly, I'm not going to speak for Kevin. I was very disappointed in the outcome this year of both the annual, the seasonal, not the 9-hole increase. But Kevin and I discussed this at length back. And we understand we do these budgets in October and take it to the finance committee. So it's 3 months early. So a lot of things can change in 3 months. But when we lowered the single trackage down $435, we lowered essentially all of the fees down, including the daily fee rates. We lowered everything down. And we were at approximately 100 seasonals last year and about 239 on annuals. We only raised it 11 for the annuals up for this year and 11 seasonals, just 11 more. Thinking all these price decreases would help, and we did the right thing. Janice had been talking to me for years. The 2 years she was on the board, and she said, this 9-hole membership is not fair. This needs to be lowered. So with counsel from her, we lowered it down to the 700s, which was the right thing to do. So, but we expected to see the numbers at least come back as they were last year, we figured, with all these lower prices. Kevin Burnsworth and I talked about it. We couldn't imagine. And then when we got 76 seasons, and then we lost another, I think, 20 annuals, and then here we had another $90,000 shortfall. I was disappointed because I thought we did go do the right thing, lower all these prices like everybody was saying, and then and then we didn't get the numbers we thought. Now we were. Huh? Yeah, we got Larry. But we also did the same thing with daily fee. We've boosted the daily fee revenue in the budget for this year. And right now, and I'm talking, Kevin said it's awful premature, but just in the first month of it, it is proving to be the right decision because that is, just in 1 month, it's coming back and coming back significantly.
With the tea times, they didn't start on January 1st.
Right, the tea time started in the middle of the month?
Second Thursday.
Okay, so it hasn't been a whole.
Second Thursday. Yeah, because we had to let the P sheet clear from 2010.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, but what all that says is it's even more remarkable that even through the first 8 days, then we went to tea times and it's still significant.
Larry Lang, I just got a technical question, Kevin. On Tuesdays, how did you count the 9-hole league that runs in the afternoon? Did you? Because there's a lot of people out there.
Yeah, the rounds I refer to, I call 18-hole equivalent. And the statistics that come in every week by day show 18-hole and 9 holes. So in essence, as an example, like on Thursdays, the last few Thursdays have been fairly consistent with 49 holes. So I'll count that as 20 18 holes. We just take the 9 holes divided by 2. In other words, if you went out and played 2 9-holes, it'd be equivalent to 1 18.
So you're really distorting how many people are out there playing.
No, the rounds. This is rounds, not number of people.
I understand that, but
Yeah.
the 9-hole, the people that play 9 holes need to be counted as a round and not discriminated against by.
Well, the information is there. It shows 18 holes and it shows 9 holes. Yeah, but in terms of trying to get your utility of the golf course, you need to know 18 holes.
You're talking about financial utility.
No, I'm talking about golf course utility.
No, you're talking about the financial utility, not the number of actual people playing.
It's not the number of people.
That's right.
It's an 18-hole equivalent rounds.
But not the number of people.
So in other words, you could have somebody going off the back 10 9 holes. You can have somebody going off the front 9 holes. That takes up the golf course. That's one 18-hole play.
Really confusing.
But it shows both. It shows both 18 holes and 9 holes.
Right.
18-hole equivalent.
Any more questions? Linda?
Question. How does this compare to the rounds on Monday and Saturday?
How does this compare to the rounds on Monday and Saturday?
I have to get that information. The only thing I was comparing was what changed. What changed?
What I was comparing is what changed. What changed from the shotgun starts in November, December to January was Thursday. Thursday went from a shotgun start to tea time. So that's what I'm comparing.
Well, you were also bringing up statistics on Tuesday and other days.
Yeah, I have that
and I was
for
just curious
Yeah.
because it's my understanding that on Mondays and Saturdays, there are a lot of rounds taking
Sure.
place.
Yeah, in November, December, like I said, I don't want to talk off the top of my head, but Thursdays, during that period of time, Thursdays was the 3rd highest day. That was at 146. So the others, Monday and Saturday, had to be higher than that. What they were, I don't know. Another thing to point out is, in the entire 9-week period, there was one day where we had 202 rounds. And that's calculating the 9 holes as a 18-hole equivalent. There was one day of 202 rounds. In Thursday of this year, and Bonnie mentioned at the beginning, Thursdays I do know. The first Thursday was 170 rounds. Since, I think the second Thursday was a bad weather day, so I threw that out. The next one was 205 rounds. And the 27th is about 225 rounds. So already, just started January, we're already over 200 rounds.
Well, when you do the presentation to the board, would you please include those other days?
Yeah, sure.
Thanks.
Sure.
When you're talking about losing your annuals and that, I've talked to a lot of my friends that were annuals, and they said they just, as they got older, they don't want to play as many rounds, and because we have a real good price, that they figured it out. For them, paying less, they would be better off to pay the dailies. So you're still going to get that money in dailies. It's just not guaranteed.
Right. Yeah, I was talking to Gene Estes at the gym just a little while ago. He did that very same thing. He looked at the numbers, how often he plays, and it just made more sense for him to go daily fee. And you're right, I'm hearing that from a number of people that made that choice. So yeah, anybody probably plays 1.5 rounds a week. It makes sense to be daily fee. Anybody over that probably makes sense. And the other reason I think a lot of people do it is because of trackage. A lot of them paid trackage but still chose to go daily fee because they want to use their own car. We understand that that's out there. The problem with Kevin and I is that we can't put a number on that this early in the year, and I have to look what it's going to look like to my ability. I have to look at what it's going to look like for you all in December 31st and what we're going to face then as far as if there's going to be a shortfall.
Well, we have had people tell us that we're losing $100,000 because the annuals lined up as national.
No.
We can't count that over.
No, we don't.
Find out what the dailies are.
What we're going to do, we're asking the board to do, we did this last year, and this isn't going to be a poster child for prepaid golfers. I'm not going to let that happen. We're making adjustments. We have some savings in other areas of the budget, so we need to go in and adjust the budget. The other reason, we need to see if we can find, just turn the screw tighter to see if we can find money so we can do the kitchen this year. And I wanted to address that real quick. I don't want you to think that the budget, we've got all this extra money in the budget. We don't. We do the budget 3 months ahead of time. Well, we don't get our insurance quotes, and we estimate what our insurance is. They tell us. Well, for instance, this year it came in 10,000 less. That happens every year. So we want to go back in and tweak some of this stuff to make it as efficient as possible and put it in the contingency. If we can get the contingency up to 100, Kevin and I are going to make a recommendation that the kitchen project stays in. And again, that's based on how our performance through the first quarter. Just my operating philosophy, I don't usually do any capital spending. Construction is an exception, but I don't usually do any capital spending my last 3 years until after the first quarter to see where we're at money-wise. If we're going ahead of budget, let's say 30 or 40,000, at that point I'll start bringing capital projects that are budgeted to the board for approval. But I usually, since I've been here, I've never gone earlier than the first quarter. I don't do anything just to see where we're at financially. Any more questions? All right. Thank you very much.